Hello and welcome back to the Living on Lemonade podcast. I'm your host, Lauren. Thank you for your patience as I took a week off last week. Anyone who has been following me on social media has probably seen all the stuff that's been going on lately in my personal life. My granny just turned 100 on Friday, which was 2 days ago as per this recording. I'm recording on Sunday, July 2nd. Going to schedule it to come out the next day on Monday. And my husband and I hosted my grandma's 100th birthday party for her family. So there was a lot of prep to kind of get done in preparation of her birthday. We had to tackle both the yard, kind of spruce it up, finish all our spring gardening and all the things, and get the house ready as well. That has definitely kept me on my toes. And I was doing really well. I have made a very conscious commitment to trying to keep uh, publishing podcasts every Monday. I enjoy doing this. I've been really loving it, and so I've committed to it. But this last little bit made it difficult. And I actually had pre-scheduled probably the last two episodes, I want to say. And really, if hindsight's always 2020, or yeah, hindsight's always 2020. If I knew back then how actually crazy it was going to be this last couple weeks, I would have scheduled an extra one just to get me through that time. But I thought, oh, I'll find a few minutes to edit meditation or something like that. But it really just didn't happen. It's been like it's one of those times where, when you have something coming up and there's a lot of, you got to put a lot of bandwidth, like emotionally, physically, mentally. And I just feel like I'm looking back on the last couple weeks and it's like, when was the last time I was able to sleep in or just kind of have a chill day? It's been a while. I do try to, well, I guess I can't say sleep in. I have been sleeping in, but then the day is like crazy, crazy busy. As soon as I get up, it's like, what's next on the to-do list? And I also have been very mindful because in the past, I I was one who really put a lot of pressure on myself for making things perfect and like really overloading myself. And I did find myself doing that a little bit lately, but I was also mindful of, what my priorities are and how can I kind of squeeze in the work that needs to be done in the play because we had two really close friends come up from Texas for a visit, and we wanted to see them as much as possible because the last time was before COVID. So it's been 3 years, and we only had a couple opportunities. So I was just very mindful to stay organized. I have a planner, like a daily planner, and on the left margin of the book, I put kind of the things I need to do that week, and then I start to kind of pin it on each day, like which tasks am I going to do each day, and that helped me to not only stay on track with progress of what we needed to do in order to get ready for grandma's party and just every other, laundry, groceries, like also just adulting in general. But I find that when there's a lot going on, I need a way to kind of get it out of my brain. Otherwise, I'll lay in bed and not be able to sleep at night. So having it written down has always been really helpful for me to kind of see it visually and start to have that kind of visual representation of how things are going to progress. And then it's like, okay, I've done my tasks for the day. I love checking it off or crossing it off. If you guys are, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but even like you do the extra thing and you like add it to the list just so you can check it off. I'm 100% that person. It's so satisfying. And yeah, so we got everything done, and the party was yesterday. It was so much fun. My granny had a wonderful time. Her favorite dinner is perch. She loves perch, like fish. If you haven't had it, it's amazing. And yeah, she loves perch dinner. So Eric cooked up a bunch of perch for everyone. Everyone brought a salad. So again, it's just when you're having this big thing, a past me would be like, "Oh, I can handle it all," and just like I would just put so much freaking stuff on my plate, more than I could really handle. So this time it's like, let's just make it easy. Everyone brings a salad. So we've got some side dishes. Eric did the fish and the fries, and I kind of, run about doing the other things. My sister helped me make a sangria. I'd never done that. Actually, she ended up taking it over. Let's be serious. I pulled out some ingredients that she took over. It was amazing. But just really honing in on how can we delegate some of the tasks and just not put all the pressure on ourselves, because really at the end of the day it was just about having family together. The house didn't need to be totally perfect. I was happy to do the extra work because it was some of the spring cleaning that I just hadn't really gotten to yet. um so it was kind of a yeah, it was kind of a an excuse to get it done, right? And a little bit of pressure, which again, there's not again, but when I've talked about stress in the past, there's that good stress and there's the chronic stuff. But that stress, that good stress, that is when I was stressed, but in a good way, because it's like, okay, I have this deadline. These are all the things I need to get done. And it puts a little bit of pressure on me to get it done. But then at the end of it, I look back and go, oh, my house looks great. And we're ready for the party. And then even after the party, aside from maybe needing to, vacuum the floors or whatever, because we had 13 people moving around in the house, it looks great still. And it was so worth it. My grandma was just so grateful to have all her family together. My sister Becky made this incredible cake. She's a Red Seal pastry chef, and just the most stunning cake. I'll have to post a picture on my Instagram. Yeah, and Granny loved her cake. We celebrated her 100th birthday. And another thing I wanted to add, I just put it in a post that I posted on social media, that I put a little bit of pressure. I was kind of last minute with things. I kind of got decorations a little bit late, and then I thought, you know what, I'll just decorate the morning of, which wasn't bad because it ended up raining, so then I had less stuff to do outside. I did wipe down the tables quick because the rain kept kind of getting pushed back, and I thought, well, people can still kind of pop out, and if they need a little break from being in the house and they want some quiet outside, I wiped down the tables, of course, with my Norwex. Which always makes it faster. I love it. And but I really had focused on decorating, and I blew up some balloons. I think I had a handful of them, and I didn't get them stuck anywhere. I didn't like put them up anywhere. So they're just like literally like kind of floating around the tables and the floor. And I thought, oh man, kind of beat myself up over a little bit. I didn't get that done, didn't blah blah blah. But you know what? As it turns out, after when we were all kind of mingling in the living room area, my granny, like someone kind of threw the balloon up in the air or whatever. Maybe I passed it to her. I can't even remember how that started. But she was playing the back and forth with the balloon. She loved having it kind of bounce to her, and she would bounce it back, and she's passing it around the room, and she was just like so joyful. It was so sweet to watch. It was just childlike play. Which is kind of remarkable to see a 100-year-old in such a joyful kind of playful state. So I kind of took a step back and said, you know what? Hey, sometimes we don't get everything done the way we envision we get it done, but there's no shame in that. As it turns out, I'm glad that I didn't put those balloons up, because we ended up having we were all watching her play, and we were kind of tagging in. She had that balloon going all over the room, and we were all having a laugh. So it was totally worth it. So I think next time you're putting the pressure on yourself or beating yourself up a little bit, how could it unravel in a different way that we're not even aware of, and it could be like super super playful or super beautiful, and we just don't even know. I started this podcast today. I really had no idea what I was going to say. I thought I would talk a little bit about what's been going on and keeping me away. And yeah, it's been Granny's birthday. She's been super tuckered out. She has like three or four birthday parties, which is a lot for anyone, let alone someone who just turned 100. So I think I'm hoping today she got a nice rest in. We had my sister and her husband over. They stayed over last night. Jeremy had never been to my house. We went to the boat, took it out for a little river cruise out into the lake for a bit, and then came back for fireworks for July 1st, which was super cool. And then got like bombarded by bugs on the out on the water, which was not so cool, but a wonderful evening. And then it's so nice because my brother-in-law hadn't been to Ontario in 13 years. So I was very mindful of my schedule the last little bit and taking extra time off work. I feel very blessed that I had the opportunity to do that and use some of my vacation to spend time with them. We took them to Niagara Falls, checked it out, and just hanging out because he's a great guy. So it's nice to get that kind of quiet time with our loved ones when we have the opportunity. And because I don't always get to make it out west where they live, I try to be very conscious and take time off when they come here because it's so much easier for me to either host them or pop down to my mom's and spend time with my sister and now Jeremy this time. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that when we get these opportunities, we make the memories and it just becomes part of what makes life kind of magical. I definitely will look back on my grandma's birthday party and just I feel so my heart's so full for having the opportunity to host everyone and just see so much joy on my granny's face and she just loved it. It was so fun. Um I guess that's I don't know where else I want to go with this. I'm just gonna take a breath. It's been just a couple crazy weeks. I'm so tired, but it's not like full burnout. It's just I've just been on a lot, if that makes sense. Like just in terms of activities and all the things. I didn't get to go to volleyball on Wednesday because the smoke was really bad in this area because of the forest fires in northern Ontario and Quebec. So we have kind of like smog warning, so it wasn't really safe for to play volleyball. So I didn't get that little bit of kind of movement and outlet that I normally would. I did some I've done a little bit of sewing this week, just trying to find that balance, right? Because there's obviously a to-do list, there's things that I have to do. I had a quilt to finish for our friend's little girl who I got to meet for the first time, the ones that came up from Texas. So again, some of that you stress. It's like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be here and I haven't made a quilt yet. And so put the pressure on myself. Let's get ready for Granny. So it just, yeah, it's been kind of one of those couple weeks. But within that, I have made a conscious effort of like how do I kind of keep my soul cup full or at least not bone dry as I go through the next kind of little busy week or so. And part of that was crafting, reading a little bit. And, sometimes you just need to veg out in bed and watch an episode of your favorite TV show. That helps too. I'm back to work tomorrow on an overtime shift. I think that'll bring back a little bit of normalcy, and then I'll head and spend a little bit more time with my sister and brother-in-law before they take off in a couple days. I'm going to take them to the airport, so I'll get more time in the car, which is super fun. And it's always sad when family kind of, all comes together. You have a great, wonderful time. You catch up, and your heart's so full, and then everyone just kind of disperses, and it's like, oh, but it is busy season with work. I have been feeling like ever since I made that quilt, and I also finished a I finally finished a table runner that I have been wanting to make for years. So I had that at the party, which was fun. And I'm kind of like I'm getting the itch to quilt, which is super weird this time of year. I don't tend to quilt in the summer. It tends to be more of like a fall winter activity for me. But because I recently dumped out my scrap bin of all of the scraps from every quilt I've made, I just finished my 40th quilt. I started putting some ideas together with fabrics for quilt ideas, and I'm sitting kind of in front of I can see them over to my left, and I'm like, I'm just itching to dive into some of these quilt ideas and start creating quilt tops and I don't know, I guess sell them or I don't know what I'll do with them. But I want to get through my stash. I've been trying to purge a bit here and there and just, yeah, kind of reduce the clutter that I accumulated over COVID. I don't think I'm the only one. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I guess the theme of today's episode is just be kind to yourself when you have the expectations of how you think things should be done. Just a reminder not to put too much pressure. At the end of the day, nobody was going around with a duster and like checking to make sure that I did every nook and cranny of the house. They were just happy to have a place to drive to with their salad, and everyone come together, have some wonderful conversations, eat some delicious food, celebrate someone who we love so dearly, and just make memories. So, yeah, it's been a big one for me. And then finding those soul cup activities to help you when you know that like you're in this time of, I would call it you stress. It's that good stress. You got to get shit done. There's a timeline here. There is an end date, so you know that it's not like gonna last forever. It's just like the next, you got to kind of push for the next couple weeks, get the things done. But how can you add some joy in between? Um, and it makes such a difference. I've been sleeping as much as I can when I have the opportunity, just because that for me that really helps. When I get a nice big sleep, I can just kind of function better, and especially if it's an emotional time. I know last night, or not last night, today my sister and I went through some of my dad's things. So that was very emotional, but we kind of enjoyed chatting, sharing some memories and going through some things. And but yeah, making sure that I'm getting as much sleep as possible helps when things feel a little bit stressful with everything going on, and then adding that emotional element too, right? So that is I guess that's what I have to say for this week. What day? We're on the 2nd. Let me just grab. We do have a master class. If you see this before the master class or workshop, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be on Thursday, July 6th. We're going to talk about people pleasing. My monthly master classes or monthly workshops are all kind of introductory subjects to things that help foster wellness and emotional capacity and resiliency and stuff like that. So this month's topic is people pleasing. I do have 2 master classes that I need to post, so I'm going to schedule a couple of those in between random episodes. I've thought about doing some collaborations and bringing on guests. So if you're listening to this, I always love feedback. Let me know what you like, and if you have anything you want to hear me talk about, or a podcast, or sorry, a meditation request. I got one a while back about doing a sleep time meditation. So I did publish that. It's in one of the earlier episodes. So I'm always open to ideas on how I can serve you and help you kind of live just a more comfortable, bigger, but more comfortable in your learning and kind of evolving ways. And yeah, I think I'm gonna sign off for tonight. I am exhausted, but I really didn't want to skip another week. And I did take a pause of like, am I doing this because I should do it? Or, do I have the capacity? I thought, you know what, I can sit here for a few minutes and kind of chit chat away. There will be some nugget hopefully in here for someone. And I'll feel really fulfilled knowing that I only missed 1 week because of everything going on. I'm not faulting or shaming myself over it. Life gets busy, and I had to pick my priorities last week and just make sure everything was good for Granny's party. So one missed episode in the last little bit isn't so bad, and we're right back to it. I'll get those last 2 master classes kind of ready and scheduled, and a couple topics in between. I know there's a couple meditations I want to put on as well. But the people pleasing masterclass is Thursday at 8 p.m. It's going to be in the oh my gosh, wrong Facebook group. You can tell I'm like tired and winding down, eh? It's going to be in the Living on Lemonade with Lauren Facebook group. So same name as this podcast. I'll post it in the show notes. You can pop in there. It'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to chat about people pleasing, what it is, like what it looks like, what it feels like, why we do it, how it benefits us, how it is a disservice to us, and how we can start breaking that habit if and when we're ready. So, again, just exploring new topics. All right, I keep saying I'm signing off and then I keep chatting. So I am going to this time. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sending you so much love in whatever air like however life's going for you now. Extra support if you need it. And I hope to see some of you on Thursday. If not, I'll catch you on the next episode next week. All right, take care everyone. Bye.